Hey guys, so I wanted to talk about a question I get asked all the time. And it's why should I spend the money on expensive gear when there's pretty good stuff that's affordable out there? And the first thing I want to say, always check the used market. Never, unless you have the money to spend, never really go out and just buy new. Mainly because it's not really a ripoff, but it's the fact that you can find all of the stuff used unless it literally just came out the day you're going to buy stuff. Because you can find really good deals. Like $800 to $900 amp head, $400. $200 amp head, $40. So, you just gotta look. Now, there is a question. It's like, well, why should I buy expensive gear? Why not just buy, like, for example, a Crate Blue Voodoo tube head is like $175 used. The cab's like another $200, opposed to buying something like a Marshall JCM and a vintage 30s cab that's going to cost you probably upwards of $1,500, or at the very least $1,000. That's a pretty big price difference. Well, it's the matter of what do you want for your tone, for one. For two, how do you want to inspire you? I do think having more expensive gear does inspire people more. When I got this, at first I didn't like it. When I found my tone, it was awesome. When I got this, my tone that I was able to dial out, I loved. This is like the biggest factor. I spent 2 years trying to find a Gibson Les Paul because I wanted a Gibson. A lot of people are like, well, why? Why not just buy an Epiphone? It was a matter of I wanted something that I was going to keep, maybe even give to someone, like my children, if I ever have any. But there's a lot of good companies out there that make copies. But I wanted a Gibson Les Paul. It's something with the feel. I've played a lot of Epiphones. I've played a lot of Agiles. I've played a lot of just copies. And for some reason, this has always been my favorite out of all of them. The feel is just the way it fits with my hand. The way when I play it just reverberates off of me. And I have a lot of memories with this guitar. I paid, with a hard shell case, it looked brand spanking new, $560. This guitar alone is worth, well, when it came out, was worth like $800. And the case alone is like $150. So I paid a lot of money. Or I got a good deal for something that's worth a lot of money. And it's just kind of interesting where people will go out and spend like thousands of dollars. I never really plan on spending more than maybe like $2,000 on a piece of equipment because that's a lot. And I better be getting a lot of like case candy or something. If I spend $1,000 or more on an amp, I better get a cab. Unless it was something like a really vintage Marshall. But you don't need to. Especially when you're starting out. I wouldn't recommend that at all. If you're starting out, I started out on a Crate combo with built-in effects and a Ibanez Geo. I had a couple of the guitars before, but that's when I really got serious. And it sounded great. And then when I bought a Fender American Strat for $400 with a hard shell case. That right there is a good deal. But when I bought that Fender, that American Strat, I spent hours and hours molding my playing with that guitar. That guitar probably still has my handprint on it, even though I don't have it anymore. And because of having something that was high quality, that was just made to feel nice when you play. It not only helped out my playing, so it was a lot easier for me to learn, but I got tone I liked, and it helped inspired me. So there is a benefit to buying expensive gear. There's a benefit to not buying expensive gear. But the biggest thing I can always say, find something that inspires you, feels good, sounds good, and at a good price. Always make sure that you shop around before you do any serious purchase. So I hope this helps out anyone who has ever thought about this question. Like I said, I get asked it a lot in person. So, it's Jack Punkington signing out. Peace, guys.